Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I have Amber here from Love After Lockup. Amber, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. At this point, I think you, Brittany, Marcelino, you guys are kind of holding down the franchise as mainstays. How has your experience been on the show?
I mean, it's been great. It's funny. It's like in the beginning, they were like, Alan and everybody warned me. They're like, everybody gets a lot of backlash. Don't let it bother you. And surprisingly enough, like a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, you give me so much hope. If you can do it, I can too. And, that makes me want to continue.
Yeah, I think definitely it's really admirable seeing you and Queen and just Queen, she owns that business, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the what you guys are doing to better yourselves, your living situation after your incarcerations. Queen is a business owner. It's really inspiring, and especially as women, it's really inspiring for a lot of people. I want to go all the way back to the beginning. I
Okay.
have been fascinated with your storyline forever. One of the things that really I had so many questions about was Vince,
I
the
knew that was
adopt
coming.
the adult adoption.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. I have you here. I have to ask.
Okay.
First and foremost, do you keep in contact with Vince at all? Have you kept up with him?
No, not at all.
Okay. Are you I don't know if you've followed, like, I know there's a channel, Sherelle's World. She interviewed Vince's ex-girlfriend. They
Yes.
got into a domestic situation. Did you follow that or know about that?
Actually, oddly enough, so we were supposed to film again. Like Puppy and I were going to confront Vince about the adoption thing.
Okay.
And then I guess that happened while we were filming right before we were supposed to confront Vince. And somebody that does one of these shows like you do, I can't remember the lady's name. I've never like been on the show or anything. She reached out to me in the middle of the night about it. I guess her and Farida is her name, I think,
Yeah.
were in contact, and she told me all about it. And then right after that, production let me know that there will be no more, like Vince will be involved in anything anymore. And then after that, Jarita reached out to me, and I don't know. I just think it's really sad, and I just hope that she knows her worth and she knows that she's way better than that, and stays the hell away from him.
Did he exhibit any of those behaviors or that kind of aggression when you guys were together?
Okay, so other than us, like our communication, while I was locked up, we didn't. What you guys saw on the show was literally the time we spent together. We didn't. It wasn't much more than that at all.
Oh,
Like when I
okay.
said I was done on the show, like that was it. We were done, and that was it. Like we talked a little bit. He hit me up a couple times after that, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So part of what was confusing to me as we were following this storyline, and especially with the adoption, is it seemed like he was as much of a, I don't know, co-conspirator in this plan as you, like, he seemed to be fully aware that he was going to be getting a bump on his paycheck and that this was going to be beneficial. But
I mean,
he was,
he's fully aware. No. That was completely his idea.
oh,
And when this happened, okay, in the beginning, like I said before, he asked me to marry him a month in.
oh,
And
wow.
he didn't just ask me, oh, will you marry me? Like at this time, we're only messaging on JPay. And I woke up one morning and I had this like long email from him. He's talking about I should marry him, why I should marry him, and whatever. So of course, my response was, I said, are you fucking with me right now? Or are you serious? I thought it was a joke, you know what I mean? And then like he kept trying to talk me into it, and he knew that I was currently married. So then he was like pushing me to get divorced while I was in there. And I actually tried to get divorced while I was still in the actual prison. And they were like, it was making it really hard. And I was like, no, this just isn't going to happen. So when he realized that couldn't happen, he was like, hey, I could adopt you and get money on my paycheck. And then he was like, and then I'll be able to afford to take care of you financially. I was like, no, first of all, fuck no. I was like, my dad would disown me, and I don't need you to take care of me financially. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, I said, don't you think it'd be a little weird if you adopt me now and marry me later?
Right,
So
right.
he kind of just stopped with that for a while. And then me and Puppy got separated. She ended up going back to the county, got her charges fixed, went to another prison, and then I went to the transitional center. So when I got to the transitional center, I had a phone. Once Puppy left, he would like take her phone calls, relay messages between the two of us, stuff like that. And then when I got to the center and had a phone, I set up JPay on my phone. So her and I would message her.
Okay.
And I got a text from him one day, and he said, listen, I already talked to Puppy. He was like, I want to know if it's okay with you. He's like, I offered to adopt her. I'll get extra money on my check. He said, and I'll split it between the two of y'all. So I was like, well, I mean, if you know what I mean, do whatever if you can help my wife out, do whatever you can. And I never
Right.
thought anything else about it. She never, you know what I mean? Like I told her, I was like, oh, Vince told me he's going to do whatever. She was like, yeah, he mentioned it. No big deal. We never even talked about it again. Then I get a message from her. She was like, I just got legal paperwork saying I'm adopted by him. Like, it's done. She was like, I thought he was just talking shit like everything else. He
Wow.
never signed any paperwork or anything. Yeah. So he just kind of made it happen.
Wow. And that was at the point I think we saw you guys suspect that he might have like forged her signature or something when you guys went to see that lawyer.
Well, at the point that she got the paperwork, she was still in prison.
Right. Yeah.
She received the paperwork in prison, but yeah. So then after she got out, and as you guys saw on the show, she tried to contact him about it. He chumped her off, like had a big attitude. And then, of course, we went and talked to that lawyer, and then she filed for the paperwork to see if he had forged her signature or not.
Wow. That was one of the more wilder storylines that I think we followed. And I just had to ask about it. But you do seem to be very determined to stay out of trouble. One of the people that we saw you was part of maybe what kept you in trouble was the relationship with your mom. Do you have a relationship with her, or what is that like at this point?
Okay, so just to clarify,
Okay.
my mother was not the downfall in my trouble.
Okay.
It's funny because a lot of girls that are in prison for like drug charges, especially like drug trafficking, it's like their boyfriend, or you know what I mean, something like that. Like, I'm always the ringleader. It's always my own shit. So I can't, you know what I mean? I can't place any blame on my mom. And I will say this: all that time that I was running the streets and doing shit, I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I did it anyway.
Okay.
So I can't blame her for that. But me and my mom have, like, since me and my mom were in prison together, we probably have the best relationship right now that we've ever had. My mom is doing better right now than she's ever done in my entire life. I could not be more proud of her. There's nothing else that I could think of that she could be doing better than what she's doing right now.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. I think a lot of us watching the show, we got very attached to your mother, yours, and Puppy's sobriety and just success.
Yeah.
And it's been sad to see Puppy struggle with life on the outside. How is she doing now?
I mean, you gotta stay tuned.
Yeah.
I can't. You gotta stay tuned.
One of the things that I don't think has been addressed, but a bunch of us talked about this several months ago. It was reported that her parole status had been changed to wanted, but nothing ever was updated with that. She's been on her social media. It would seem that if she was being sought by the authorities, she could easily be found. Do you have any kind of clarification as to why her parole status says wanted?
Gotta stay tuned.
Okay. All right. I think this is safe to talk about. What was up with this boyfriend of hers?
I mean, I don't at this point, what's aired so far, I haven't met him yet. So I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we have.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet. Yeah.
He's a lot. He's a handful. Everyone can't stop talking about the fact that he left the Ray-Ban sticker on his.
I've seen that on social media. I've seen it.
People were saying, oh, maybe it's a tattoo. And if you take it off, it just says Ray-Ban on his cheek. And I was like, no, I just think he wanted everyone to know he has Ray-Ban eyeglasses. How are things with Sammy? We haven't seen him yet. Are we going to see him?
Well, I know that I saw a preview
Mhm.
I think yesterday. So I think in the preview it shows you're gonna see him on Friday.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. So how long have you been filming for this show? Few years now?
Yeah, so I got out May 28th of 2019, and we started filming the day that I got released. So
Okay.
we're on the season that's airing right now is my third season.
Okay. What has been the best part about this process for you, about being on the show, filming? How has it positively impacted your life?
I mean, it just gives me another like I know that like when I was in prison, I thought about, like I knew that I didn't have any intention on getting out and doing the same stuff. But I think that with the show, it just gives me a bigger platform to show people, like if you really want it, it's possible.
Hmm. It's not easy, that's for sure, but
And
you,
it's not easy, but it is doable. It is
yeah.
doable.
What has been the hardest part about this process, putting your life on TV?
I just think like I think that it's probably that, people just assume the worst. People always assume the worst. Nobody, it's like, I mean, there is that group of people that are like, you give me so much hope. And then everybody else is like always assuming the very worst all the time. And it's like, in reality, if you think about it, in one whole season, you might see 35 minutes of my life in an entire season, maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean? People don't ever post on anything asking questions. Hey, is this how this went? Or is this why this happened? No, they're posting like worst case scenario that you can even possibly think of all the time. And it doesn't bother me or get to me, but like Puppy, for instance, she can't even follow none of that shit on social media because that's just not, it's too much for her. She just doesn't even want any part of it. And it's
I
sad.
think I would fall into the category of someone like Puppy. It's gonna happen, but when it does happen, it's a very personal thing to have someone attack who you are. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely something that they counsel people on before going on reality television, and it's still no fun when it happens.
Yeah. I mean, but it doesn't even faze me because in reality, these people have no clue. And it's funny that every people don't just like make a post and assume the worst and then that's the end of it. People like I'll go through and read like some of the posts about us or whatever, and people like get really serious about it. They start fighting with each other about it, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
really serious to them, like it's their real life. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, oh my god.
Love After Lockup has a very impassioned fan base. We
Yes.
feel very strongly about all of you. Because you know what? I think all of us have a friend or a family member, or it might be something we're dealing with ourselves, and we see ourselves in your stories
Yeah.
reflected to us. So that's why we get so passionate. But yes, I've seen some of these banters, and it can get
Yeah.
pretty intense.
Yeah. It does. It does. It amazes me sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, these people are really invested.
Do you talk to any of the other cast members? Are you friendly with anyone else?
I mean, I'm friendly with everybody, but we're not really. I don't think we're really supposed to be in a lot of contact with each other. I think that it's kind of a it's kind of like an unwritten rule somewhere that we're each our own entity.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
no crossover storylines
No,
happening.
which I think that would be kind of cool actually, but you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well, I was gonna say, because I don't know if you watch 90 Day Fiance, but there is a cast member, Rebecca, who lives very close to where you are in Georgia, and people
Actually, no,
all the time,
she lives almost walking distance from my job.
ah.
Yeah.
So
And
we're always like, are we gonna get an Amber Rebecca like meetup? That would be so cool.
and like the coolest thing about it is, so I knew that she lived right down the street from my work, but I have a friend who is actually he's the real estate agent on in one of her episodes. He's my
Oh,
friend. Yeah, he's my
oh,
friend. He's my friend, and he originally, when right before COVID is when we were supposed to film the Vegas thing, when me and Puppy were going to go confront Vince, and we were on our Vegas trip. It was his like 40th birthday, so he was going to be in Vegas, so they were going to film with us, and then COVID happened, and then right after that, he's like, "Oh my God, you'll never guess what they asked me to do." So he was actually on the show with her.
that is so cool. That is
Yeah.
so cool. So, okay, what are your plans for the future? I know that they've just announced another spinoff of this series. Are you in this for the long haul, or what are your plans as far as filming?
I mean, as long as I don't have any plans on leaving. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I guess as long as you guys want me enough to let them know to keep me, I'll be on.
Okay. I would really, for me personally, I would be interested to see some like solo spin-offs, if any, if the powers that be wanna.
Yeah, a lot of people have mentioned that, and I think the cool thing about that is like with having so many couples on the show, it's very limited what they're able to show because time management. But I think that it would give way more insight into some of the cool and crazy stuff that everybody really does have going on.
Yeah. Do you watch the show like every Friday, or do you just occasionally
I don't,
watch?
to be honest, I don't really watch TV at all. I go on every Saturday morning on YouTube, and I just like scroll through to our little portions. So I know that what's aired, what I'm allowed to talk about or respond to on social media. But
Oh, okay.
other than that, I work so much. I just don't have time to watch.
Are you still in the restaurant industry, or what are you doing now?
Yeah, I'm still managing sidelines. Yep.
Okay. What's Puppy up to now? Are we just gonna have to wait and see for that?
You gotta wait and see. I can't say too much.
One of the things that I think a lot of us would love to see, and I don't know if producers or anyone ever listens to the cast, but we would love a reunion. Has that ever been talked about or
I
discussed?
mean, I think a lot of us have mentioned it to like field producers, to production, but I've never heard any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever like, yeah, that sounds good. No, I haven't heard that yet.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. I would also love, similarly to 90 Day Fiance, how they have like the commentary, like pillow talk. That would be really cool to see,
Yeah, I
cast
think
members watching the show and giving their 2 cents on the storyline, because a lot of us are like like messaging you like, Amber, what'd you think of so and
yeah,
such? And it would be
I
great
agree.
to see your commentary on the show.
I think that would be cool too, actually.
Yeah. So any last words, anything you want viewers to know, to understand?
Okay, so I've been out for a little over 2 years now, and I've recently gotten, so I'm doing a 30-day cleanse right now. I'm
Okay.
no drinking, no dairy, only eating organic. I go to the gym 5 days a week.
Oh, wow.
So here in the next couple months, I will be doing before and after. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So yeah, I'm just trying to get healthy. I feel amazing. Um, I just want to be the best that I can be.
That's awesome. And how long, you have a really long parole, correct?
Yeah, I'll be on parole until 2025, and then I have 20 years of probation after that. I got a 30-year sentence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it does, after 2025, does it get a little bit easier or a little bit more relaxed, or are you?
I mean, I think right now it's probably the most relaxed it's ever going to be. Because
Okay.
I've done so well. I just report by phone. I just have to contact my PO um, when I need, when I want to go out of town or when I want to travel. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. But you pretty much have the freedom to do what I like anyone else could
Yeah.
do.
Other than leaving the state or traveling, yeah, pretty much. I just can't,
Oh,
I can't get in any trouble.
right, right.
Yeah.
Well, you've done a really good job of staying out of trouble and continuing to help your friends. My last question was your relationship with Puppy. It's keeping in contact with her. Sometimes, people that aren't on the same level of recovery as us, it could be hard to keep them in an active part of your life. Was that hard for you? Was that something that you considered cutting her out of your life?
I mean, I think that when last season, when I was like, I'm done, I'm changing my parole address, that was why. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was why. And that was hard for me. But, I tried to, at that point, I had tried to be there for her. I'd done everything that I could possibly think of. And it was to the point where, like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't want to, I feel like when you care about somebody, it's your job to hold them accountable. That's what real
Yeah,
friends do. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
but it was getting to the point where, you know, I'm not I don't want to bitch all the time. I don't want to be all the, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to tell you what to do. And it was, we were butting heads because of that. And it was time for me to separate myself and, you know, give her a little bit of tough love. Didn't mean I stopped caring about her or, you know, my feelings changed. I didn't know what else to do at that point.
Right. How is I know Puppy's mom on the show, I think it was discussed she's had some health problems. Is she doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's as good as she can be. And you'll see more about that on the show, of course,
Okay.
but
Okay. I know like between her mom and your mom, a lot of us are very invested in everyone being happy and healthy.
yes, and we appreciate that. We really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
All right. I will talk to you soon, Amber. Have a good one.
All right, you too, honey.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.